Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 184.
Yes.
I'm Ryan, I'm joined by my brother Chris and our good pal Katrin, and this is it. It's all come to this moment. WandaVision. Oh, no, WandaVision.
Oh, I wore my Star Wars shirt.
You guys. Yeah,
I'm sure
What's
there's
the
a
world
Mandalorian
according
again.
to? What about the world according to Jeff Goldblum? Come on.
I have to start over, aren't I? No. It's all come to this. WandaVision.
I'll edit that out later.
Roundtable. I'm not editing it out. So stay in. But we're joined by Ray Chase, who joins us for all these roundtables. It's like his own space.
I like round tables.
Yes.
Stays at the table like the whole time until we get back.
Yeah, he just sits at the table.
He doesn't watch any of these things we talk about. He just likes round tables.
Yeah.
It's his table for that.
Mm-hmm.
And the mighty Winchester is here. You may have seen him in the comments. You may have seen him on the show before. But he's back to talk WandaVision with us. Are you guys excited to be here?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay, I put you on the spot. Anyways, as you can see, if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook, my training gang is being represented behind me. I have a train behind me with Mephisto on it. It's Mephisto Train Gang. I will never let it go. I'm going to die on that hill. Mephisto is going to show up somewhere, sometime, and I'll be ready.
About that.
He took the time to print out
off.
a picture.
All his color ink.
Took his children's train.
It's on draft.
And made a train.
I was going to ask who's.
Remember in Back to the Future 3 when the train goes off the cliff and and crashes? That's your train.
Is that what happened?
I'm going off the cliff.
Train. It has left the station.
Oh.
It's gotten up to 88 and it's just crashed over the
I'm
hill.
telling you.
A lot of different colored smoke come out of it.
Yeah.
Mephisto is going to show up sometime. Of course, not in WandaVision. We know that.
Sometime in my lifetime, he's going to be there.
But he will be there.
So
Yeah,
in the
train will
meantime,
come back
Ryan's
with
just
Dr. Ray.
ruined someone's Christmas.
Mephisto's going to be. Did you know Vance, who's in the comments right now, shared this picture? Do you know there's an actual train called the Mephisto Train?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
It's a real train that takes people.
Right behind you.
No, it takes people on this like journey in the mountains or something, and they do the Faust musical or whatever on board. But it's an actual train, and it looks creepy as all get out.
I think you found your summer vacation.
I know.
Forget Disney World. Go ride the Mephisto train.
Go to the Mephisto train. Anyways. All right, so we'll get into the Mephisto thing, why I'm so big on it, why I will always be big on it when it comes to some of this Marvel magic stuff. Because he's got to be a part of it sometime. If they do Ghost Rider, he definitely has to be a part of it, right?
After WandaVision, there's no absolutes with anything.
Yeah.
And that's sort of where Ghost Rider comes from. Anyways. All right.
Could they just be references for the sake of referencing?
I think Mephisto will come sometime. We'll use him somewhere. He's already been mentioned in the MCU.
Has he been?
Yes.
He was?
Yeah, there was some paperwork that had, and it had Mephisto's name.
Producer's death.
No, they're like looking at this paperwork, and you look down, and it says Mephisto across it. Like in the paragraph, like it's talking about Mephisto.
Is this something that was magnified 300 times?
Yeah.
No.
Listen,
And then I took
Was it
pictures
an
of my
Agents of
phone and then I
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
zoomed in really close.
Hold on. You guys talk. I'm going to find it.
There was an M and E. The rest was covered up, but it's definitely Mephisto.
Yes.
Memphis.
Gotta be.
It was Memphis.
Maybe it was Memphis.
It's Memphis all along.
I'm telling you, it's already been mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
Okay,
I
fine.
believe
yeah,
you.
it was in the Tesseract document.
Huh.
Oh,
In which
In the
movie?
Avengers.
Oh.
Avenger.
The Avengers.
Yep. See, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, if it was in the Avengers, then
well,
definitely gonna be.
Anyways, forget about that. We'll get more on that. All right, so the series
Let's get this train back on.
The series is
And
over.
by the way, there will be spoilers.
Oh yes, tons of spoilers.
Yeah. Dear God,
all spoilers
throughout this. Spoiler: no Mephisto.
Zing!
So many more spoilers.
Mephisto joke.
I'm here all night. It's fine.
Yeah, there is some stuff that I predicted to be that actually did happen. Right? Yes, there is. Of course, I think we all. We'll get into it. Anyways, overall, okay. So we had 9 episodes. Some people thought we were going to have 10, but they cut it. We found that out by the director saying, yes, there was going to be 10, but then we cut it. So cut a bunch of stuff because of time. And I guess that we found out.
Thanks, 2020.
Yeah, 2020. We found out that the finale wasn't finished until like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they were still doing stuff and putting it together and all this stuff. So it wasn't done until like 2 weeks before it aired, which is crazy. But anyways. All right, overall, and we all know what Chris is going to say and what Caitlin's going to say. They're going to say it was good. What did you guys think of the show overall? We'll start with Ray.
Start with me. I enjoyed it. I thought it started a little slow. I think the first 2 episodes could have been combined into one episode because it was sort of... Both episodes kind of felt like the same thing, just repeated. It was like, this is an episode of an old black and white comedy, and there's a little bit of mystery. And I don't think they needed to do that twice. They could have just done that once. But once it got going, I thought it was, pretty cool, and there was a lot of intrigue. I talked to Chris about this a couple of days ago. Kind of reminded me of Lost a little bit, where they kind of set things up, not always paying those things off, but led to lots of speculation, kind of got you talking, like what's going on, what's happening, and that was kind of cool. So overall, I enjoyed it. I thought, it was a fun series. The finale, I gave the finale 3.5 Grogu's out of 5 Grogu's, because it was good, but as we'll get to in a moment or two, there were some things that could have been better. I have some notes.
Ooh, we got notes.
Notes.
This is why I have Ray on. To get his notes.
But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I watched. I thought it was a lot of fun. But
now, did you try to stay spoiler free? Like this first chance you got, you watched the episode when it came out.
The finale, my son and I stayed up and we watched it when it dropped.
I did too.
Yeah, and after it was over, I was like, well,
I did.
Probably didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, why did I stay up? There was no spoilers. And the funny thing was that, like, they were saying online, like the studio or somebody was saying, some of the actors like, don't spoil the finale, and people were like responding, like, what was there to spoil? There was really nothing to spoil.
That's the spoiler.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe her out, when she becomes the Scarlet Witch, because I mean, the next day I just went on to YouTube, and already in my recommended, there were like thumbnails showing her in the full-on get-up, which I was like, oh man, because that was kind of a nice surprise and a nice, kind of moment. And while there was no Luke Skywalker level cameo that everybody was sort of primed for, that was kind of a cool moment that I'm glad I experienced it without having it spoiled by the cursed internet. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, the next time, like, the finale for Falcon Winter Soldier, I'll probably watch it Friday night after a full night's sleep and whatnot. So
I don't see, and we can talk about Falcon Winter Soldier later. I don't see there being as much mystery in that one as like, oh, this is going to happen. It's going to spoil this.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be like
more straight on action adventure, rather than what's going on, what's real,
buddy cop.
Strings,
buddy cop comedy elements, and that's about it. Which we can get into that because I want to talk about the timeline of when all these shows and stuff were supposed to come out, which is interesting. All right, who's next? Anyone?
I mean, we let our guests go first.
Okay, Winchester, go ahead.
All right, it's kind of hard to follow up Ray. Let's see. I'm a college student that procrastinates, so I didn't have any notes. But I did watch every episode right when it dropped. And then I would watch it again that night because, I mean, I have to do stuff during the day. So it's like, okay, I'm going to watch it at 2 a.m. because it dropped Pacific time. I was like, okay, 2 a.m. And then we'll go 9 o'clock at night and we'll continuous loop. I do agree that it did start out pretty slow, and that's why they kind of dropped it all at once. After everything had gone out there, like the first 3 episodes were supposed to be all dropped at once, and then there's supposed to be that 10th episode. So it did feel kind of rushed towards the end with a lot of empty paths to go down, but it did misdirect us a lot. And I was going to say, they did it on purpose, though. And Paul Bettany just trolling us to that degree because he's like, always wanted to work with this actor my entire life. And then you're like, oh, okay. The Ship of the Theseus, cool. That's about it. But I was going to say, it was a good introduction for a lot of different ideas going on within Phase 4 and beyond, like Secret Invasion, Armor Wars. There's talks about Jimmy Woo getting his own like X-Files type show right now. And just it opened the door for so many opportunities. And I applaud Kevin Feige and all of Marvel Studios right now for that. But
I thought we were applauding.
Just slow clap too.
Yeah,
I know.
it'd get faster if we all joined in. By the time it would have been full applause.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't happen though.
It didn't happen.
No, Katrin.
Yes.
Katrin's in black and white right now.
I'm in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fancy. I was one of those that had issues with it when it started, right? Because I didn't really know a whole lot about it going in, and I was like, what is happening with this show? And it like Ray, the first 2 episodes were kind of just these fun episodes that really didn't feel like they really meant anything, right? They just were kind of like introducing the show, but it really was just these funny things happening, like sitcoms were, they were just funny things, right? Funny stories. So it picked up, and we enjoyed it. Watched every episode. Sometimes we didn't watch till Sunday or Saturday or Sunday. Most of the time, I think I saw maybe one spoiler throughout. I guess I'm just not on the internets as much. I don't know, but it was fine. So, but I didn't think it would be a show that my wife would enjoy. I don't think she cared for it at first because first couple minutes in, she's got the phone up. It's like, lost her, but she got into it later. So I asked if she wanted to be on tonight because we were trying to find somebody else or some other people, and besides Ray and Winchester. But we sorry, that was supposed to be funny, but she's like, I mean, I could talk about how much I like Elizabeth Olsen, and
I tried to get Elizabeth Olsen on, but
yeah, I mean,
she said if we were recording tomorrow, she could have been on, but I said I can't do that.
She's very busy right now, so.
But yeah, it was good.
It was good.
It was good. I like it.
Hi, Chris.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay.
There you go.
Good night, everybody. I liked it. Overall, I liked it. Kind of the same thing everybody's been saying, except the first episodes, they didn't really get me down or anything. They didn't really to me, they didn't necessarily feel slow because growing up, I watched a lot of Nick at Night. Like that was like the shows I watched. Like it was, so it was a nice kind of remembrance or just kind of flashback to growing up as a kid. It was a nice kind of study in how those shows were kind of made and filmed for a little bit. So I kind of geeked out about that. So that was kind of fun for me. And overall, I was, you know me, I'm one of those people like, theory here, this could happen, and this could happen, and yeah, like Chris said, they pulled a Lost on us, and it's like, those things, we don't really care about those. It's just this thing. It's the main thing that you guessed from the beginning. It's Agatha.
That's it all along.
And it's her doing. It's like Scarlet Witch is doing. This is happening, and so you would think Disney would learn with Lost because that was on ABC, and with Star Wars that maybe if you're putting these like little subplots in there, maybe have them come out to at least a little something.
Like wrap them up.
Yeah, like if they're not going to really do anything, if they're going to amount to just like a little joke, then maybe not do it.
Make a better joke.
Because that's what like as geeks do. Like when we're watching, especially Marvel stuff and everything, and we're kind of trying to tie everything together, we're going to come up with theories, and they're like kind of better than what you threw out there. So
also in a show like that where it's sort of a mystery, says like, what's going on? What's happening? Why is this happening? We all suspected Wanda was behind it. What made her do this? I mean, so you have Falcon Winter Soldier, like we were talking before. It's probably going to be a little more action adventure, straightforward. A show like this where they're kind of diving into what's going on. What could this be? What could that be? Why is this color? Why is this black and white? So it begs you to start to ponder this or wonder that and start to come up with your own theories. So don't feed that train and then not ever have it pull into the station.
Don't feed that Mephisto train. So from the first episode, like Chris, I fell in love with it. I was like, this is so cool. It's like, reliving childhood watching TV. And then I love a good mystery. I'm like, this is going to be like all these clues that they're like, it wasn't like, look in the background. Do you see that thing in the background that's just a little object? That has to be something. No, it was stuff that they like said, and this is going to happen pretty much. And you're like, what's going to happen with this? Something's going to happen with this over here because they're putting it out front and then nothing happens with it. And so as the show, I started out really loving it. And then as the show went on, I was like, all right, yeah, this is a good show. And then by the finale, I was just sort of like, it was fun. It was good. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. And then to hear the director and the writers and stuff talk about it afterwards, where they're like, oh yeah, we didn't really mean for it to be any of this stuff. That's just what people came up with. You would think, like Chris said, the time that we live in now, where a geek level is just on fire, everybody's into all this stuff, that they would think people are going to read into this. People are going to know the comic books. People are going to know the other movies. They were going to have watched all the Marvel movies, because most people that watched WandaVision, this wasn't their first thing into the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't like, let's see what this is, Oh, that was fun. Yeah.
And some of the writers, like the director and the actors that played Dottie, they're like, we threw this in here as like a thing to kind of steer you away and make you think this thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so you purposely led us on to nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
like
that doesn't like make sense. How is that?
Yeah, and I would be fine if they wanted to distract us using a character, but then they took it and finished it off in a different direction.
Yes.
Well, like the commercials. I mean, did the commercials mean anything? I watched. My son sent me something on Screen Rant where somebody like analyzed. Like this was like 15 minutes. Going into analytics of what the commercials meant, and this was, I think, was done before the finale episode because he was predicting Doctor Strange was the one behind the commercials. And I'm like, having watched the finale now, and now watching this that was made pre-finale, I was like, wow, you spent a lot of time and thought. I don't know that they put that much thought into those things at all. I think it was like, well, she had interactions with Hydra and, this and that and the other, so we're going to throw that in there and some Stark and some things that's familiar and, make a commercial. And
I think that's basically what they said they did.
Yeah.
The director was like, it was just like, these are some traumatic things that happened in her life, and we represented them through the commercials. And Wanda picked these two people from the town to be the commercial people because she thought they'd be good in commercials.
Nothing greater than what it is.
So did it get you? Did it get us talking about the show?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's
wanting
cool
to find out
it.
what happened.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's a marketing thing, right? In some ways, or it's just poor planning, or we're smarter than they are. Who knows?
And the commercials not necessarily like bug me the most of anything because they are like little hints on like her trauma, like it's all about her trauma, and they all kind of link to the like second to last episode where you go through all of her trauma. So there is like a nice link to that.
Yeah.
It's the things where they're like, we're definitely leading you off because we know we are. But it's not going to do anything. That's
Quicksilver. That's the elephant in the room. That was like the most. They knew what they were doing. They were like, he's Quicksilver in the other movie. We're going to put him in this and make people's minds explode. And then he's going to be nobody. Although he's Ralph, right? He's Agnes' husband.
He's my husband, Ralph.
My husband, Ralph.
Boner.
That was just kind of like.
So it was a growing pains
episode
joke.
after credits. He shows up next to Monica. Oh my gosh! And then, it's like, hey, you want some cheese whiz or something? You're an actor, yeah. Into that. On to the next.
They did all that, and they admitted it. They did all that for a growing pains boner joke. Yeah. Because the director worked on Growing Pains long ago, and he's like, "Wouldn't it be funny if one of the characters' names was Boner?"
So they spent all that time making a connection to Growing Pains, but nothing else gets connected to anything else.
So I have a theory about this, and we can get to this now if you want to.
Mephisto?
No. It doesn't have anything to do with Mephisto. This has to do with Ralph Boner. Unless, Chris, you were about to say something? Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, to me, like, it seemed like a really big missed opportunity to actually include another Avenger. Because the guy was an actor. He's in the Marvel Universe. Wonder Man is like an Avenger who's part of Vision's story. Like he's like in the comics, he's actually like his mind is like molded from Wonder Man. Wanda and him like went out for like a period of time in the comics. So they really could have made a connection whether he actually became Wonder Man or if it's just the actor himself. Like it could have been a nice connection to the origin story from the comics into WandaVision. But they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like Evan Peters, and I wish they would do more with him. I don't like it that he just became Ralph Boner. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's my thought. Okay. I'm probably completely wrong, and I've heard other people sort of talk about this a little bit. I'm wrong. WandaVision was not supposed to come out first. Okay? It was supposed to go Black Widow, which who knows if that really matters within this timeline. Black Widow, Falcon Winter Soldier, Eternals, and then WandaVision. I think somewhere in that time, in one of those, probably Eternals would make the most sense, that the mutants get brought up in some form or fashion. Which would make this more of a joke for Evan Peters to be in there, because we already know something about the mutants. So it'd be like, oh, this is funny. They have Evan Peters playing Quicksilver. Well, we already know something's going on with the mutants, so it's not that. It's just a joke for us in a sitcom world. But because WandaVision is put to the front, the joke fell flat.
I don't know. I think it was a deliberate red herring. Like they were just trying to throw, and it did throw you off.
No, I think it was still supposed to throw you off. Yeah, I think it was still supposed to throw you off. But when the joke played out and it's just Ralph Bohner, then it's like, oh, okay, well, we get it now because in Eternals, this stuff happened. Okay, it's funny. Ha, 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 ha.
There's a lot of Bohner jokes in Eternals, too.
Yeah.
That would have helped.
Yes.
But I think that because of the pandemic and everything happened and WandaVision getting moved to the front, I think a lot of stuff would have made more sense if it was left where it was supposed to be in the timeline.
But in the Marvel, in the MCU timeline, I mean, WandaVision is like what, like a week or two after the end of Endgame? Because Hayward says that 7 days ago she stole the Vision's body, which was a lie. And I don't know that, she they had the big fight with Thanos, and then she was like, okay, I got to go find Vision. So there's probably a little bit of time there. So, and it just sort of seemed that way with Monica, coming back from the snap and so forth, and then getting back to work, that it had probably been a couple weeks. So it's not like, it's been months after
Eternals
the last
is supposed
movie.
to take place in the 80s?
It takes place after Endgame.
Oh, after Endgame? Eternals?
But it takes place. It really takes place over like thousands of years.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
Eternal.
I didn't mean 80s.
Because they're the Eternals. But I think the main storyline may take place. I think they said that it takes place like after Endgame.
Yeah. So Vance in the comments said 5 weeks is when.
5 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Longer than I thought, but okay.
So I think Winter Soldier is going to happen before. I don't think WandaVision is going to lead into Falcon Winter Soldier anyway at all.
Oh no!
Because because supposedly it was supposed to come before WandaVision. So I think that maybe this is another little thing, and I've heard some people video and they talked about it a little bit.
Is that won't
I
come
think
true?
the reason that we didn't see the witness, because that's the big thing. That was one of my big things. What happened to Wu's witness?
Yeah.
I think the reason that we didn't see the witness is because in Falcon Winter Soldier, the witness is going to be introduced, maybe in the background, maybe a small part, and he's going to be one of the actors that's in WandaVision in the background. And we're just supposed to say, "Oh, there's the witness." Like maybe he's the messenger. Maybe he's don't shoot. I'm just the messenger. Maybe he was the witness. But I think we may see him in Falcon
Jimmy
Winter
Woo's
Soldier.
in every show. He's going to be in every show.
Yeah.
He's a new Stanley.
He could be.
But then that would make sense why they just sort of dropped the witness, because we would already know who the witness is. So it wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, there was a couple of things like that, I mean, we already touched on one of my big annoyances with the finale was the whole Evan Peters thing that kind of bumped me. I mean, other smaller stuff was, I would have liked to know more about Monica. Like, what is it about you and your genetic makeup or what has happened to you? Because it seems like every time they brought up Captain Marvel, she was all like, we ain't talking about her. And, the last time we saw her when she was a kid, they were all fine and cool. So did something happen we haven't seen yet? Did something happen where your genetic DNA got like scrambled? So now when you pass through the hex, you're getting abilities and powers no one else is. But they never really talked about that or went anywhere with that. I don't know if that's going to later, maybe.
They briefly touched on it, saying like since she'd gone through twice, it was like basically getting too much radiation and it was kind of changing her cells a little bit. Going through the third time, they didn't know what was going to happen to her. So they kind of did a little bit, but yeah, I wish they would have like followed her up a little bit more. Really all of them, like Darcy and Wu and her, I wish there was more of a wrap up.
Poor
for their
Darcy.
characters on
Poor
the
Darcy
end.
had like a cameo in the last episode, and that was it.
You're going to jail. That was it.
I'm out.
Yeah, and then then like, she doesn't like to do interviews or whatever. It's just like, okay. Just didn't have time.
Speaking on
Kat Dennings.
Oh, go ahead. What?
I was just say Kat Dennings wasn't available when they were doing reshoots for that, so that's how they're like she was supposed to be there, but it's like one line,
really?
We'll fix it. Yeah, because it was that the mid-credit scene was filmed so much later after that and like she was supposed to be a bigger part of that mid-credit scene, but Kat Dennings just wasn't available because she's off doing something else.
How dare
So, I know, right?
Like, things like that they did cut. There was a scene that they cut that I wish they would have kept in.
Yes.
It was, and it had to do with the Darkhold and Senior Scratchy.
Senior Scratchy.
And so basically, they gave the boys, the twins, and Monica a little something more to do in it, where they were going to go after the Darkhold because the boys saw it in the basement. They knew it was something powerful that they should get. So they're going to get it. They're about to get it, and then Senior Scratchy like jumps in front of the book. And they're like, "Oh, Senior Scratchy, I love him." And then it like they said they were going to do a werewolf Paris or whatever, like transformation.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Werewolf in London, like transformation of Senior Scratchy into this demon thing, and they were going to have to like fight the demon off.
That's
and
cool.
they apparently filmed it all, but they're like, yeah, then it was going to be too expensive to do the effects and everything, so we had to cut it.
Oh, come on.
Could just put a guy in a bunny suit.
Could put a guy in a bunny suit. It works on Supernatural. We do it all the time.
Yep. Yeah, I wish they'd have left that in because it would have made. Because Senor Scratchy was another thing that got dropped, and you're like, "Oh, what's Senor Scratchy going to be?" And then they just drop it, which that would have made more sense to do that.
Well, White Vision flying off as well. I was kind of expecting a little something extra with him at the very, very end, but they didn't. And it's like, okay, well, the show hasn't really been about him. But at the same time, Vision's back. I mean, he remembers everything up until Thanos killed him. Mm-hmm. Is he like White Vision in the comics, where he doesn't have the emotional state of Vision? We don't know. I mean, when he flew off, I was like, oh, he's got his memory back. He's going to go help Wanda. Left the oven on, apparently, before the Thanos fight, and was like, I got to get home. It's been, 5 years. 5 months. I have to water my plants. I don't know. So it's kind of, we'll touch on that.
Well, he'll probably show back up sometime.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, we're really not sure where he'll show up again. Like it doesn't necessarily seem to.
Wherever.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he necessarily fits in anything coming up, like Eternals or Spider-Man or Doctor Strange. Like maybe he'll show up in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, maybe Doctor Strange.
Like the more plausible one, I guess, since Wanda's going to be in it. But
speaking of Doctor Strange, Agnes detects all this magic being used. Strange doesn't.
Probably fighting bigger bad.
It's right there, man. It's right there in your backyard. Big red glowy thing.
He was like on the couch with Long, eating like a hunka Hulk ice cream. He didn't want to get up.
Apparently.
And if you ask anyone from New York, no one cares about Jersey. So I mean, there's that too.
Or again, I need to wear like a tinfoil hat. Maybe when he went through all these, things of the future, seeing all the different things that could take place, he saw this happening, and he knew that Wanda needed to become Scarlet Witch. So he said, "I'm keeping my hands out of this for now because she needs to further her, abilities and stuff."
I mean, and at the same time, we don't know exactly when, like, in Doctor Strange, like what they did with like Thor Ragnarok and Civil War, like they took place around the same time, and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about them. We'll show you why they're not showing up."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like later, it's the same thing they did with like Iron Man 3 and Captain America: Winter Soldier. It's like stuff was taking place at the same time, so of course they couldn't leave what they were doing to come do this. So there could have been something like that they will reveal in the future. They're pretty good about that.
Because he's going to be in the next Spider-Man movie, right?
He's going to be the next Spider-Man.
Yep.
Which comes out in December.
And that movie takes place directly after the last Spider-Man movie. So I don't know if there's any kind of overlap at all with WandaVision with that.
Yeah.
It's not sure.
I don't know.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these shows that are coming out, right? I'm in color now. Yes.
Moving up in the WandaVision.
Now in Technicolor.
There's a lot of these shows and movies that are coming out. So, I mean, I think it's possible that these little bits and pieces could have something to do with the rest of this whole thing. You never know.
I hope so. I hope it all sort of fits together.
Yeah, I have a little theory on some of that going forward we can talk about later. Don't have to get into.
I think what's throwing us off is that for forever in the MCU, we knew that it was leading to Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Each thing showed a piece of how it was leading to Thanos. Now that we don't have Thanos,
what's the next big
we
thing?
don't have the piece that it's leading to yet.
Yeah.
So when we see these separate entities, we're just like, well, what's this? I mean, where's it going? You know, how's it going to fit together?
Well, also too, they keep throwing things out. 'Cause I think Kevin Feige had said something about that WandaVision, Spider-Man 3, and Doctor Strange are all. It's like an unofficial trilogy. So it's like, okay, so they're all going to sort of interconnect and interrelate. Because I saw a thing with Elizabeth Olsen, which you can't trust what any of the actors say. Because, Luke Skywalker cameo. But, she alluded that she might be in Spider-Man 3, along with Strange. So it's like, okay, so why isn't Strange showing up in WandaVision? Because the two of you are going to be together in the next two Marvel films that are coming out, but you're at Bruce Banner's old cabin out in the middle of nowhere, doing dark magic and stuff. Why wouldn't you just go to Strange?
She could be the movie. It could just be a after credits thing.
Maybe, yeah.
I saw an interview with Cumberbatch, and they asked point blank, a lot of people thought that you were going to be in WandaVision. What do you think about that? And he, being who he is, he was just like, oh, people thought I'd be in that show? Huh. Yeah, I don't know why. Interesting. Well, you'll see me and Elizabeth Olsen together in the next Doctor Strange. Let's talk about my other movie right now. And he just completely switched it.
Nice.
So he knew something. Yeah. So what did you? So you mentioned the cabin in the woods, which was basically the final scene that we saw. We're skipping around a little bit, but that's fine. We do what we want.
Do we want to?
Yeah. So where do you think
just
this,
like the writers for WandaVision?
Yeah,
we're just skipping around.
We're skipping around. Where do you think this cabin was? Like
that was Banner's old cabin. Remember?
Was it? I don't think that was Banner's old cabin.
That's like the Avengers cabin. When you're going through like mental PTSD, you go out to this cabin they have.
Because that cabin looked like it was like a different country.
I'm guessing it was Sokovia. That she went back to Sokovia. If you want to follow the theory train or whatever we want to call it, I mean, it could have been. It was in the mountains. It could have been at the base of Mount Wundagore.
That's what I was wondering.
A significant place in the comic books for Wanda. And I'll hear my cat food going off.
That's you have a robot cat?
We have robot cats. That's it in a litter box. That's the sound it makes.
The nuts and bolts. Oil.
The nuts and bolts coming out. I got to change the oil on them in a minute. But yeah, I mean, like that's like the base of the mountain. Like that's where, and I don't really know how to say his name, but Chthon. It kind of looks like Cthulhu at the beginning of it, so I'm going with Chthon.
Cornhole.
That's where
whatever.
her chaos magic comes from. That's where her chaos magic kind of comes from. Is him as a demon who's like the father of chaos magic, and also the father of vampires, werewolves, and zombies in the MCU.
There we go.
So, and that's kind of where he's buried, and that's where she ends up at various points in life, drawn to his power. So and he's also the character who wrote the Darkhold.
Yeah, he wrote the Darkhold. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. You said chaos magic. This is something I wanted to talk about when we were talking about episode 1. I totally forgot. The boss in episode 1, when they're around the table.
He's dead somewhere.
Well, when they're around the table, he says, this is chaos. So in the first episode, we get that it's chaos magic. If you go back, he says it's chaos. And after he says it's chaos, he disappears. He's gone for the rest of the show. When you see the wife, she's by herself.
We see the wife, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's dead somewhere.
I think he's dead or something. Like, he found out he knew more than he should have, and he's
probably just frozen somewhere like a bunch of other townspeople. But yeah.
Oh yeah, he said chaos, and they're like, okay, we're putting you in your house, and you're not coming back out because we're not
keeper that we don't know whatever happened to.
Mm-hmm.
I think he got rewound maybe when she did that whole. I think that whole point of him coming through, she undid it, and he just got rewound like it never happened.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pooped out.
Yeah, but the poor boss, he's either dead or he was just frozen in the house for the rest of the show. But in the real world, he wasn't there either. So that's what it's like. Is he dead or what? Because that lady was just sitting there by herself and stuff.
Well, it seems like it was because those people that were there, Agatha released them, but everyone else was still under the spell. It was just those people. So he was probably just still frozen in his house.
Because he said chaos. He shouldn't have said chaos.
He said the magic word.
He did.
Yeah. You can say boner, but don't say chaos. In WandaVision.
Just say boner.
It's got an H in it.
A boner.
Anyways.
Mephisto.
Mephisto what?
That was Mephisto?
Did I hear Mephisto?
I'm down.
Woo-woo, train.
All right, so the kids. Wanda did not create the kids, right? Like,
I mean, they kind of did.
No, because
it looked like they did.
She created Vision, but I don't think she created the kids.
Well, I think she did.
Yeah, they were out of the chaos magic, just like Vision was.
I don't know because basically she had no control over the kids.
But like when she was tearing down the thing, they started disappearing. So like I think she at least created the bodies of the kids. Now, as far as their souls,
that's what I don't think
themselves like they might have been pulled from somewhere in order to inhabit it. Because I don't.
Where were they pulled from? Say it,
Mephisto. Or some other dimension,
Mephisto.
Like the multiverse, of Multiverse of Madness. But yeah, I mean, because like she couldn't create a Pietro, like that's what Agatha was saying. Like, they didn't have the body or anything there to put them together, so she would have had to pull something from somewhere and put it into the bodies that she created for the kids.
For the children.
For the children.
Yeah, what was that all about?
Yeah, that was
never
anything.
Her name's Sarah. She's 8. She's stuck in her room. She can be the school bully or something. Just anything. Come on. Just let her out.
Do you
For
think
the children?
For the children. Do you think in the final credit scene, do you think she's actually hearing the voices of her children? Or do you think it's something else playing with her emotions to try to get her to release something or someone else by masking themselves as her children?
It very well could be.
Could it be
Chthon?
Mephisto?
Sure, it could be.
No, but I'm just wondering, like, is that her children reaching out, or is it going to lead into this is how everything just gets blown wide open?
I think they're leading, that scene leads you to believe that like she's trying to, but I mean, it depends on how hard you want to think about it, because it's like, okay, so the kids were real, I guess, because they're calling out to her, but the Vision she created wasn't. Why isn't he? I mean, it seems like creating a synthetic android would be a little bit easier than creating an organic living human. And she wasn't able to pull that off and make that sustainable. So,
and but I mean, he like the Vision creation did seem to be more purpose, like on purpose, where the kids were more kind of an accidental thing that happened.
Right.
So I mean, it very well could lead into something that's trying to lead her on, and it could come back showing that it was inserting them into her kind of spell in order to pull her that way. So I mean, it
could lead to nothing. We can never hear about the children ever again.
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, I mean, when the show was all said and done, I would love to see more Wanda. And I don't know. I mean, they've talked before about, stuff happening as a TV series and then becomes a movie and then can jump back to being a TV series. So I don't know. I mean, there's not going to be a season 2 of WandaVision, but after Doctor Strange and so forth, maybe there would be a show that's called Wanda and Vision. And it's not them pretending to be, housewives or a housewife in a Dick Van Dyke character, but maybe they're, it's like they're continuing sort of adventures. Maybe to get the kids back or going into the underworld. I don't know. I mean,
the money's there.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Because, I mean, they were fun characters to spend time with. And to think that we're not going to be able to do that anymore. When Vision's out there and she's out there. Because that's the thing. It's like after he fixes Vision and gives him back his memories, you think he would have been like, oh, Wanda, my darling, by the way, once I'm gone, Vision's out there. Go find him. Go find me. Be happy. Now I'm going to keep that for myself.
The children have been spotted, the actors have been spotted in the same town where they're filming Doctor Strange 2.
Oh.
In England or wherever it is.
England.
So, they could show up in Doctor Strange 2.
They could show up in
some form, and they could be on the end of arms, like in the comics.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. I hope they do that.
Okay, so what did you think about Agatha Harkness? How they portrayed that character, how it happened? We can go around the circle if we want to, or however you guys want to do it, or somebody can just jump in.
I don't know. I liked her. I mean, the actress was great. I wish there was a little bit more levels to her. Because they almost started, like when they did the flashback, they almost started to portray it like there was some kind of like, oh, this is happening. I don't necessarily want it to happen where I'm killing these people, but I'm getting all this power. This is great. But it didn't really go into that. It's more like, yeah, I'm an evil witch. I'm going to take your powers. That's what I do.
So hide out for 400 years and do it again.
Yeah. Because like in the comics, she's not necessarily a bad character, which they could still go into if she shows up in Doctor Strange or whatever, because I mean she's still around, so they could definitely do that. But I do wish it was more of just witch.
I think she'll come back, because why would they leave her in this town, like the directors and the writers and everything, if they were going to come back? Maybe in Doctor Strange,
maybe she'll be in Fantastic Four. She was the caretaker of the children for the Fantastic Four for a while. That'd be funny.
Speaking of Fantastic Four, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Winchester, what'd you think of Agatha?
I mean, I love Catherine Hahn, like hands down. She's been great, but I was gonna say that was the one thing that kind of did play out, but not fully to our expectations. Because we're like, oh, cool, like we know about Agatha. That's who Agnes is. There's something up with her. She's a witch. She's going to be this mentor. But it's like, hey, I'm not going to be a mentor. It's going to be like a therapy session for an episode. I'm going to show you all your trauma. And then you're just going to deal with it while I try to take that from you. But, in this episode that's also a therapy session, I'm going to show you how you can defeat me. All in one line. Oh, there's some runes. Cool.
Wanda catches on fast, too.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to make a rune, but now that I've seen them, I'm going to do it.
Let's do it.
It seems like if there was a thing where they left in the kids trying to get the Darkhold, if they had gotten it and given it to Wanda, and maybe she could have absorbed something from that in order to know how to do it, maybe that would have played out a little bit better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, she just kind of knew
Yeah, when I was watching it with my wife and the whole rune thing happened, she's like, "Has that been there the whole time? I don't understand. Like, how did she just know how to do that all of a sudden?"
Like you could see her doing.
Oh
it,
yeah, you
like
could see her doing it. Yeah.
Like,
and I said, well, when she misses Agnetha, she's actually creating the runes, but like she picked that up pretty fast.
Yeah.
She is the Scarlet Witch.
Oh.
Well, it's true. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need to learn how to do it. It's just like, I'm going to do it, and it happens.
It's like Rey. She just has the ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just, how to do a Jedi mind trick? I just know.
I thought you meant yourself, Ray.
No.
That's what I thought, too.
I was referring to Star Wars there.
Ray's talking in third person now. Okay.
It's just like Rey, Chase.
Speaking of Star Wars, did y'all see the meme where it shows Rey healing somebody and then Anakin's like, "What?
Yeah,
I could do that? I spent all this time angry."
That's good.
Adrian, what did you think of Agatha?
It's good.
Okay, good.
Great actress. You knew. I mean, if you watched it, not really looking into it or thinking or reading into it too far, it was like, why does she know all this stuff? Like, what is going on here? And it was really good the way she interacted with the actors of the show, right? The sitcom, and it kept it interesting and made you think a little bit, like, what in the world? Why is she okay with this thing happening? Like the kids just changed all of a sudden, and because at that point we still didn't officially know.
Kids can't control them.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. I thought it was kind of weird at the end. I feel like, I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what I thought, but it was a little weird, but
yeah,
it was like we said, I hope it doesn't just end for her. And it kind of did, and it was like, oh, okay, I guess she's gone.
But it was trapped in her mind.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because Scarlet Witch said, "You're going to stay here," but then she wiped the town out or put it back the way it was. Like, well, did she turn back too? But I mean, obviously, she made her sit in some kind of imaginary world. But
I think it's just a prison in her mind, basically.
Kind of like what happened.
Kind of like what?
Nothing.
Okay. I want to know.
No. Nope.
Oh, okay. I didn't care for the ace bandage around her neck. That's something. Could done without that. I wish that they'd somehow could have gone a little more into her background, how she got so powerful as a witch. Because basically it was like, we take her to the stake. Oh, she's a lot more powerful than all of us other witches. I wish they could have gone more into that. Maybe how she got the Darkhold.
Yeah. Has she had it the entire time? I mean,
yeah.
Is that what she was studying back in 16 whatever? Or?
Yeah, like where she got it. It'd be cool. I mean, she could have got it from Cornhole Guy.
So I this might be a good thing to get into now. Lead into a little bit. The theory I have, like the Infinity Stones going through the movies, I think Chthon and the Darkhold will kind of show up in the other movies a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because of how they're connected. It goes through thousands of years of time. And they had the Black Knight in the Eternals, who was part of King Arthur's Roundtable in ancient times, which they would fight Morgan Le Fay and Morgana, who have strong ties to the Darkhold in the comics. So it could pop up there, briefly in the Eternals, as well as even in Thor. There's Chthon is related to some of the gods that are tied into the God Killer. That's gonna the villain from Thor. So I think some of the stuff that they did with the stones, there'll be little hints within that leading up to Chthon being a major player in Doctor Strange, which kind of like is in the last of that run, kind of tying everything together.
Yeah.
I think they'll do a little bit of that with the Darkhold now that they've introduced it in Cthon.
Which, if the Eternals came before WandaVision, maybe all this would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, it could have shown like the Darkhold passing down through the generations, possibly.
Yeah.
And winding up where it is now. Like, it's possible.
It could still work, though.
It could still work.
Out of order. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It is interesting that basically WandaVision has been done, but it was supposed to be the fourth thing coming out. When was it? So yeah, I mean, we haven't heard anything really on Eternals, right?
Not really.
Not really. We don't even necessarily know the villains per se for the Eternals.
Because WandaVision, when they announced everything, WandaVision was sort of like not on the top of everybody's list,
Mm-hmm.
But somehow it became, because of the way the world is, became the introduction into Marvel Disney Plus, which is interesting. But I think it lived up. I wish that at the beginning they had, in interviews or whatever, they would just said, "This is Wanda's story," because I think if they made it, "This is Wanda's story," then there would have been a lot less theories and conspiracies and stuff going on. That we knew this is Wanda's story. This is how she's going to get to where she needs to be. Instead of what's the mystery? What's going on? Oh, it's. And then by the final, we all just go, "Oh, it was just Wanda's story." Okay. Because I think we would have,
Yeah, they did play stuff up in the media, and I don't think they necessarily needed to.
Yeah.
We're all watching it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Like if I knew that this was sort of Wanda or Scarlet Witch's origin story, pretty much, then it would have been cool. But thinking that it's more than that, it's sort of let down by the finale.
Yeah. I don't think they should have said that this is going to tie into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. It just left it like, this is the show. This is what we're putting out.
Right. Because when they said stuff like that, and Doctor Strange has the subtitle of Multiverse of Madness, and then Evan Peters shows up, and you're like, oh, Multiverse of Madness! It's the multiverse! He's from the multiverse! And no, he's not.
No. So the only person we didn't touch on was the engineer, I think. The elusive...
Oh, the aerospace engineer?
Aerospace engineer.
Doesn't matter.
Either.
Yeah.
The actress that played Monica, she said that she couldn't wait for everybody to find out who the aerospace engineer was. It was like a thing. So I don't know if this person was somebody, and because maybe like you're sort of suggesting, because they shot things or they aired things out of order, they pulled it and they were like, we can't reveal this person yet because this hasn't happened yet. Black Widow hasn't come out, and we were going to have so and so show up in Black Widow, and I don't know.
Yeah, it could be someone in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like we don't know. And they could have filmed it, but then they had to cut it because it didn't make any sense.
Yeah, because the way they did it, basically, she's like, I know this aerospace engineer. Let me text him. And then she hides the phone where nobody can see. It's like, oh, who could it be? Like, oh, I'm texting.
You need to go meet him in 1 hour. That's the next episode.
Yeah, I'm not gonna show you. Yeah, they made it out weird.
I am with the boring answer. It's just like, oh, it's a scroll. It's got to be a scroll. I mean,
yeah, that's who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a scroll. I thought it was going to be the girl that
Halos or someone
she grew up with.
Yeah, when the Skrull did show up, it almost seemed like she was surprised that there was a Skrull. So I don't necessarily think she really has ties to Skrulls anymore. Because she kind of seemed surprised that there was one a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
But she wasn't really surprised where she had to go when she pointed up. Yeah. She was like, okay, let's go to space.
The roof? You gotta go to the roof? Like, why'd you bring me down here? Just go to the roof.
You gotta meet the man upstairs. You're gonna meet God. Or Nick Fury, one of the two.
Yeah. I was hoping that whole unit that they went to that was loyal to her mom were all just Skrulls. I thought that's what they were going to do. That unit was just going to be a Skrull unit that's there to help out, but no, it was, when they saw when that lady walked up, it was almost that they thought, hey, here's the person we're going to meet. Aren't you excited? And we're like, who's this random lady?
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't Doc Ock either. Sorry, Chris.
No.
Which Catherine Hahn was Doc Ock, so there you go.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Just think if they had Catherine Hahn in this, and then they had Doc Ock, and then Reed Richards showed up too, and they had Wu who also played the guy from The Office, and Reed Richards was played
Jim Halpert.
played by the guy from The Office. Then we'd had all this crazy stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been
I saw an interview. Go ahead.
I was going to say it would have been madness.
Sea of insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Say, I saw an interview with Randall Park, who plays Jimmy Woo, and he's like, all these memes are showing up, and I completely forgot that I was in The Office.
All right, let's see. I think we've said what we liked, and we said. So, what's one? If you could only change one thing about WandaVision, what would it be?
Boner.
Well, the two things that irritated me with the finale. I mean, if you just take it as it is, without all the expectations of Reed Richards showing up or whatever. The Evan Peters thing bothered me. And the other thing that bothered me was when she was walking out of the town. She was walking out of the town, and just moments ago, all the town people were like, we would rather die than be under your mind control. It's been so freaking horrible. She's walking out of the town. Everyone's giving her dirty looks. And in my mind, I was like, so you're just getting away with this. There's no repercussions for your actions. You're basically a supervillain. And you're just walking out of there, And then Monica has the line that she has, which almost makes it seem like the writers kind of feel that way as well, that she's not the bad guy, when she's like, oh, if they only knew what you sacrificed for them. You're a kidnapper and you were mentally torturing these people for 2 weeks. You're not a good person to then finally decide to let them go. Kidnappers who let their victims go after 2 weeks still go to jail. I kind of expected her to fly off, get out of there quick because, the fuzz is coming to get me, or Sword's going to have questions, but.
Yeah, if Monica had said something to the extent of I get what happened here. It wasn't a good thing, but these people are going to come get you. You need to just go. There's not going to be any explanation. They're not going to accept anything. I've been through something similar. I get it. Just go. They didn't even do that.
And then she shows up at the cabin and, whatever. It just kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth because I was like, Thanos had his reasons and he's doing what he's doing and he thinks he's right, but he wasn't. And he was, mass murderer. It's like, if Wanda had started killing people,
like the boss.
To save her family, like the boss, we still look at her as a hero. I mean, she's kind of riding the line, whether she meant to or not. And I feel like they should have touched on that a little bit. That she kind of started to go to the dark side, whether she meant to or not. And again, maybe they'll.
Yeah, to me, when for the townspeople in particular, I think they saw her turn Agatha back into Agnes so quick that they were like, okay, we're not going to say anything because obviously she could just do that to us too. So see you later.
And haven't those people suffered enough? Now they're going to have, hey neighbor, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my God, would you just...
I think she's going to be the creepy old lady, or not old because she's not that old, but the creepy lady that lives on the hill that when the kids are like, hey, let's go trick or treating, and the parents are like, don't go to that house. Let me tell you a story. And so she's just going to be the crazy rabbit lady because she won't be the cat lady. She'll be the crazy rabbit lady that lives on the hill that nobody will go near.
And don't let your dogs go near her.
Yeah. No. I called that. That's the one thing I got right. I was like, she killed the dog. I'm like, I knew she did. And then she told me right into my eyes. On the screen. But yeah, anything else? Katrin, is there anything that you would change? One thing you would change?
I don't know. I was thinking. I guess I hadn't really thought about it because just enjoyed it for what it was, I guess. But I don't think so. I mean, it maybe make it longer. If it was a longer series, that they could develop a little bit more into that whole fight and maybe do some other things with it. But then again, it's like hopefully they're setting up for something else, and we know they are a little bit, at least we think for Scarlet Witch and maybe the White Vision. But.
Yeah, that was like a thing with the White Vision just flying off. I wish there was a reason for him to have flown off necessarily. Or they're just like, I am Vision. All right, I'm going to bust through this glass. I could phase through it, but I'm going to bust through it and have all the glass shatter down.
It'll look cooler.
Yeah.
Guys, Vision is the man up there.
Gotta go see the guy up there. This is Vision. He's hanging with the scrolls.
Yeah.
What's up, party people?
We'll find out more about him.
What's up, party people?
In the White Vision and Scarlet Witch series coming to Disney Plus in 2026.
Yes.
White and
it's a rumor I just started.
White and Scarlet, that's the name of it.
Why's it gotta be white?
Okay, Scarlet and White.
I saw people, and this is
spectral.
I saw people calling him the colorless Vision. And I'm like, come on. He's the White Vision. They wanted to make sure not to call him white. I was like, he's white.
Spectral. There you go.
Chris, did you say one thing you'd change?
Boner. Just the whole, basically he was a joke. Like, it could have been something.
Yeah.
Like, it even if he was an actor or something, they could have done something a little bit more with it than it was just boiled down to a joke. Basically, a boner joke. Like, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you just used some spell to give somebody super speed, you would think it would take a toll on their body.
You think?
Don't think about it too much, though.
Maybe that's why in the water bill, that in that month or whatever, the water bill spiked so much. If you look at the water bill, because he was so thirsty, because he was just running so much. Because if you look at the water bill, it's like, and then the month that, or the time that Agatha there, the water bill goes, like shoots way up.
I didn't notice the water bill.
I notice weird things. I'm always looking.
He's a really thirsty demon.
Well,
did it say Memphis on it?
No, but it was just interesting. And the water bill, the year on the water bill was 2020.
When did this happen?
The water
2023.
Was there an episode where like Wanda shows us the water bill? I mean,
it's when Rambo is in Boner's place, and she's trying to figure out who he is, and she picks up this paper, and it's a water bill. And it says Ralph Boner, and it says 2020, the year 2020, and it's got how many months he's been there, basically saying he's just a random dude that's been living here forever. That he's not somebody that just popped in. Ralph Boner has been here it's got months on it. It's got from this month or year to this month that he's been living in this place. It's a little thing. I picked up on it. And it said 2020, and the 2020 probably means nothing. It's when they put props and stuff in things, they put the year that it's coming out, so it doesn't really matter.
2020 wouldn't make sense because this is supposed to be in the
2023.
This should have been.
I think that was just a mistake on these people's part, on the prop
old
people.
Water bill he kept.
I don't know. Anyways, she picks up that first, and then she picks up the headshot, the actor headshot, because she picks that up and she's like, "What, Ralph Boner?" And then she sees the headshot and goes, "What? You're just an actor?" So, anyways, I picked up on these.
So if you pause it and you look at it, the water usage is just really high.
In the time period that Agatha is taking over this house.
He's a thirsty boy.
And that's why I'm like,
maybe
that's
all
why.
The vines of the weird plants and trees in the basements or something.
Yeah.
Or he just has to drink a lot because he's running so fast as a normal
I think you need to make a 15-minute video on YouTube talking about this water.
So.
All right.
I think it warrants further investigation. Marvel's hiding something in that water.
They're not hiding it. It was just interesting because it showed you that it was another nail in the coffin that Ralph Boner was really just Ralph Boner and no one cares about him.
Wow.
He's just some random
Hydro Man. Hydro Man.
He's Hydro Man.
Hydro Man. It all connects.
He's going to be in Spider-Man 3. You heard it here first.
I do a little research for the podcast, for the show, and this is what I get. I try to uncover stuff. I try to look up stuff.
Mm-hmm.
From now on, I'm just going to give the answer that everybody else gives. Yeah, I liked it.
It was good.
It was good.
Starting to the point. What's wrong with it?
I just thought that was interesting that they went that extra step further to let you know that he is not who you want him to be. He's just some regular dude
who drinks a lot of
water.
Got
a water bill. Yeah.
It's got water.
Well, talk to Rambo about
like
that.
us.
She's the one that picked up the water bill. Anyways, yeah. So I'm interested to see what happens. That final credit scene basically showing that she is more powerful than anybody else because she can astral project herself while she's making tea. Pretty impressive because everybody else has to be asleep when they astral project or dead or on a table in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's where in Doctor Strange. But she was doing it while she was making tea and drinking tea, and she picked up a hot tea kettle by the handle that was hot. So
maybe that was the astral projection.
Maybe so. You never know. And then the music at the end.
Keep up appearances.
And this is me looking into
For
stuff
our
again.
Neighbors.
The music at the very end.
In the isolated community where the cabin is.
Yeah.
It's all falling apart.
Hello, we're coming for sugar. You have any sugar? Hello. Oh, you're floating. What is going on?
She's doing the black magic again.
Oh, it's chaos.
Run, Ether Witch! Burn her!
Did anybody else notice that the music at the end was the same music from Doctor Strange?
Of course. No, I didn't.
You didn't. Yeah. Same score, basically, from Doctor Strange. And it was written by the same person.
Cool.
It didn't. So that basically shows you that it's leading into Doctor Strange. Anyways, Vance Cope in the comments said, Did you watch the pitch meeting for WandaVision? Yes, Vance, I did, and it was hilarious, and it was spot on.
Yep.
And it's so funny. I think that's the best pitch meeting that he's done. I forget the guy's name that does them, but it was so funny, and it was so spot on to how everyone that watched the show felt. Yeah, it was good. You should go check it out if you haven't watched it. Next week, we'll be doing a roundtable discussion on the pitch meeting video of WandaVision.
Oh my gosh.
We're going to break it down.
So I think it's actually the same person. If you look at the clues, they look a little similar.
Yeah. Katrin fell asleep.
How much water are they using now?
Oh, gosh.
If you look at the water bill,
I'm not going to look at anything else. Winchester, did I ask you what you wanted to change? What did you want to change,
really
Winchester?
They're two different people.
If I were to change anything, so I would have changed who the aerospace engineer is. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's Reed Richards. Oh, it's this person." Right before the episode aired, there was this big rumor on Twitter saying that Big Hero 6 was going to be introduced into the MCU, and I think that Hiro Hamada would have been a great aerospace engineer, if not Takashi. Which, if you've seen Big Hero 6, I mean, Takashi's already been mentioned in the MCU. He's got some program that, I forgot what movie it is, but like the chips that they put in Baymax with this programming. It's similar.
It's when Tony Stark is trying to pick a new voice a new AI.
Yeah, there's the Friday, and then
the Friday AI. There's a Takashi chip there labeled Takashi.
Yeah. It's okay.
So
it's okay
I think it would have been cool to.
It's okay to see the Takashi thing, but not the water bill. See how it is. That would have been cool. I mean, that would have been. I would like that. That would have been cool.
I just like I just want you to watch everything and just notice those things from now on. Like, oh, they had a receipt from Subway. Did you see that?
God,
Subway wasn't even around.
Winchester. See what I
got
deal with?
$5 footlong that day.
But it turns out the footlongs are only 11.5 inches. Oh no, what's going to happen?
Mephisto.
The devil.
The devil's in the details. See? Okay, since nobody asked me, what would I change?
Hey Ryan, so is there something that you wish could be different?
Oh, nothing. Okay.
Besides Pietro, which Chris already mentioned that, I would have left the scene in with Senior Scratchy because it would have at least wrapped up that little subplot.
Mm-hmm.
I would have left that in.
I really wanted Senior Scratchy to be Ebony, Agatha's cat, because in episode 8 she talks about like transmutation and she turns the fly into the bird and stuff, and I thought that would have been really cool
if he turned into the cat.
Yeah,
that'd been cool.
Did you see that there are some theories online? Senior Scratchy SS Stephen Strange. She turned Stephen Strange into the rabbit. And I was
that's why he didn't get
that.
Yeah, I saw that.
And we all know he loves to eat mothbirds.
Yes.
I mean, most people thought it was a reference to either the devil, because Old Scratch is the name for the devil, or Nicholas Scratch is Agatha's son. So that was the main. But I did see the Stephen Strange thing, and I thought that was dumb. That one I thought was dumb. Oh, so
I like the Mephisto Train.
I hope everybody sends me their old water bills so I could take a look at them. Analyze them. Every MCU thing that there's a water bill in. I'm your guy. I'm your guy. Anyways, all right.
Wanda won't have one.
Wanda won't have one.
She's in the mountain. She gets it straight from the springs.
Straight from the springs. Oh man. Well, thank you guys for making fun of me.
Anytime.
I think we're wrapping it up unless you guys have anything else about WandaVision.
Yeah.
I guess we'll form the circle again after Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Ooh.
Dun, dun.
Which I heard that it's not going to be as long as people think it's going to be.
Oh.
Really?
How many episodes?
Kevin Feige, or however you say his name,
Feige
said that people are going to be disappointed about how long it is.
Oh, great.
They're only 15 minutes apiece.
3 episodes, 15 minutes apiece.
I think it's going to be shorter than WandaVision.
You're going to introduce U.S. Agent and then cut to black. There you go.
Probably. I don't know.
But wasn't he the same one that said like the last 3 episodes of WandaVision were going to be an hour? And they were never an hour.
It was misinterpreted. I saw the article where he said that, and he didn't say that, but people thought that's what he meant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. They said, oh, well, that's what he actually means, that this is how long it's going to be, the last 3 episodes. But he did say people are going to be disappointed in the length of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Fine. Maybe they should just tell us how long it's going to be now then.
Vance says he heard that it was going to be like 6 episodes.
No, that's not too bad.
Yeah, that's not bad.
If it's 6 episodes at like 45
minutes
minutes an episode, if they're all like half-hour episodes, it's like a 3-hour movie. I mean, that's,
Maybe they made a movie called Falcon and Winter Soldier, and they're like, we need another show. Split that baby up.
We'll throw some commercials in there that mean nothing.
It's gonna start with like episode 1. They're just gonna put in like a black place card thing in there that says episode 1, and then they'll be running, and then all of a sudden it'll just go credits, and then the next will just say
please stand by.
Yeah.
Speaking of the credits, I mean the credits for WandaVision. Did you guys ever pause it like when the episode got done and you still had about 10 minutes of credits? And I was like,
a lot of credits.
Holy moly! I mean, the episode was like 32 minutes, and there's almost half of the episode now. Another half of an episode is credits. My lord,
they do that for every Disney Plus show, and it drives me bonkers.
Yeah, because Mickey Mouse cartoons are that way too.
Oh yeah, my kids will be watching a show,
10 minutes of credits,
and then 10 minutes of credits, and they're like, "We want to watch the next one," and I'm like, "It'll come on." It's like, "It's not coming on," and I'm like, "There's 10 more minutes of these credits." So, yeah, it's ridiculous. I want people to get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah.
Just make it go by faster. That's what pause buttons are made for. Anyways. Well, thank you guys for coming. Winchester, thank you for stepping in the last moment.
Yeah.
Love having you on. Ray, it's always a pleasure to have you on. You always give us some great surprises and great conversation.
Great surprises.
Well, like your background. I mean, we didn't know you're going to be in the Brady Bunch house, and you're there.
I am there. Yeah. I'm stuck in my own WandaVision world
projection.
Yes. Working through some grief.
Oh, Vance wants us to have a I Am Geek watch party next Thursday.
Thursday.
For like 2 a.m.
For Falcon.
For Snyder Cut.
2 a.m.
For the Snyder Cut.
Oh, for Snyder Cut. Thursday for the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, that's not good for me. Can't make it.
It's like 4 hours long. That's a long watch party.
Yeah. You know how many pee breaks I'll have to take for that? My lord.
I've tried to watch party things on like YouTube when people do it, and most of the time it's just this. This is somebody staring at a screen, and they're like, "Oh yeah, see what they did there."
That was cool. Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay. I'm someone who hasn't seen the original Justice League just because the DCEU just didn't interest me at the time. But now I'm going to watch the original and then the 4-hour cut and just give timestamps. Like, okay, it's different here, 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 and here. Go watch it.
It's gonna be really different.
Yeah, don't bother watching the original one.
There you go. Like the original movie was like what, 3 hours long, right?
It wasn't any good.
I don't know.
I watched it on a plane, and it wasn't a 3-hour plane ride, so it has to be.
It's shorter.
Like
There's like
2:15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, cool. We're gonna get the Joker in a nightmare scene, and cool. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing else matters.
Darkseid's gonna be in it, isn't he?
Yeah, they're going to go into that. They're going to go more into Cyborg's backstory. They're going to go into more of the Flash. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it just because I like Justice League and just the comics and stuff. So I always like to see the characters.
I'm telling you,
see how it does.
Superman and Lois on CW has done more for Superman than any of the recent Superman movies. I've enjoyed it. Like the Superman,
it's actually
movies,
been pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't enjoyed, but I've enjoyed how they're doing this with the kids and more, emotion and not just like, hey, I'm Superman, sort of thing. But they're really diving into the sort of like the human side of them. There
are moments with the kids where it starts to get CW and I start to get twitchy. I'm like, I'm going to stick with this. Get back to Superman. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Woo!
He likes a girl that's going out with a jock. No, the jock hates him.
But you said this was a CW show, right?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like the first episode, because I haven't watched the latest. I've watched the first two. The first episode was better than any of the Superman movies recently.
Yeah, I got all caught up because I guess there's now 3 episodes, and it's been pretty cool. I mean, and there's some mystery going on as to what's going on and what's happening with the villain and so forth. But
has there been any water bills?
What's that?
Has there been
any water bills? Yeah. There's been a couple times They've been sitting around with paper on the table, and I haven't gotten to get a good look, Ryan.
There's been
paused, and I can enhance. I can't see. How much water did they use last month? I need to know this.
I mean, he's
Ryan
Superman. Does he need a lot of water? I mean, he takes a lot of sun. He gets hot. I mean, he's got to.
Anyway,
he takes long showers.
All right. I don't know what we'll be doing next week.
Yeah, we gotta.
We'll think about.
I gotta go out of town next week.
Oh no!
Oh,
on Thursday.
Oh no!
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. when the episode.
At 2 a.m.
What are we gonna do?
Actually,
is this the end of I Am Geek? Find out next time on I Am Geek.
Quick, Katrin, show us your water bill.
Stand by.
It's electronic. I guess I could.
All right. But we have all kinds of cool stuff coming up, and we're going to be. I think the three of us are going to be on Main Street Electrical Podcast coming up in April, I think, sometime the 1st of April, and then we've got some other fun stuff coming up. Secrets that if you watch this video back and you look in the background of our videos, you will find clues to what's coming up on future episodes of I Am Geek. So watch them over and over again, not because we want the views or the listens, but yeah, just look around,
analyze them, talk about them.
More talk about the Mephisto train, probably.
There's a bobblehead. Could there be I Am Geek bobbleheads coming out? I don't know.
No.
No, there's not. Anyways, thank you guys. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Winchester. It's been a blast. I've had fun. I don't know if you guys had fun or not, but we had fun. I hope you guys listening and watching had a blast. And then we'll see you next time on I Am Geek. This has been episode 184. See you next week.
What?